The sun was dipping behind the city hospital, casting long orange shadows across the pavement when a small voice broke the stillness of the evening. A little girl in a pale blue dress stood outside the emergency entrance, tears streaking her cheeks, her tiny fists clenched in fear. Her blonde curls bounced as she sobbed uncontrollably, catching the attention of everyone nearby. But what made the moment unforgettable was who stood in front of her, a towering man covered in tattoos, his leather vest proudly stitched with the words, "Hell's Angels." Behind him, a line of bikers stood silent beside their roaring Harleys, watching the fragile little girl cry as if the whole world had fallen apart. If you believe kindness and second chances can come from the most unexpected hearts, take a moment right now to like, share, and subscribe to Everyday Heroes, because stories like this one deserve to be heard. The man knelt down slowly, his knees cracking against the asphalt, his deep brown eyes softening as he looked at the girl. "What's wrong, sweetheart?" he asked gently, his voice a low rumble. The little girl sniffled, trying to speak through her sobs. "Those men, they won't let my mommy in the hospital. She's trying to see my daddy. He's really sick." Her words hit him like a punch to the chest. Behind her, two hospital security guards stood blocking the door, arms crossed, faces hard. Inside, the glass doors reflected the sterile glow of the emergency room, a world away from the rough, rumbling chaos of the motorcycle club gathered outside. The man's name was Jack Razor Linton, president of the local Hells Angels chapter. To the world, he was a symbol of rebellion, danger, and darkness. But to those who knew him, especially his brothers, he was a man who had buried his demons and built his life around loyalty and justice. Just hours earlier, Jack and his crew had ridden in to donate blood for an injured biker friend who had been hit by a drunk driver. Now, their engines were quiet, but something about this moment made the air feel charged again, not with anger, but with something deeper. Jack looked at the trembling little girl, and for a second, something flickered in his memory, a faint echo of another hospital, another little girl, years ago. His daughter, Lily. She was gone now, taken too soon by a world that hadn't been kind. He saw the same fear, the same desperation, in this child's eyes that he had seen in Lily's the night she slipped away. His jaw tightened. He couldn't let this one suffer too. He stood up, towering over the scene, and walked toward the hospital doors with heavy steps. The guard straightened, instantly uneasy. "Sir, you can't," one began, but Jack's stare silenced him. "You stopped a mother from seeing her husband?" he asked, his tone calm but cutting like steel. The guard hesitated. "She didn't have the right clearance." Jack's eyes narrowed. "You're telling me paperwork is more important than a dying man's last moments with his wife?" His voice carried a weight that drew everyone's attention. Even the nurses inside turned to look. Behind him, his brothers shifted, forming a silent line, not threatening, but firm, united. The other hospital visitors watched in stunned silence as this group of leather-clad bikers stood for something few expected, compassion. The mother, standing a few feet away, clutched her chest, tears in her eyes, unsure what was happening. Jack turned to her and nodded. "Go," he said simply. "Go see your husband." The guards didn't move. Not at first. But when the mother stepped forward, Jack took one step closer, his voice dropping. "If anyone here ever stopped my wife from saying goodbye to me, I'd never forgive them. Don't make that mistake today." That was all it took. The guards stepped aside, heads low. The mother ran inside, sobbing, disappearing through the automatic doors. The little girl, still standing near Jack, looked up with wide, grateful eyes. A few minutes passed. The silence was thick, only broken by the hum of hospital machines inside and the faint sniffles of the child. Jack stayed kneeling beside her, his big hand gently resting on her shoulder. When the mother finally returned, her face was pale but peaceful. "He's gone," she whispered, her voice breaking. "But, he saw us. He heard me. He smiled." She fell to her knees, holding her daughter close. For a moment, even the toughest men in leather vests looked away, their eyes glistening. Jack swallowed hard, his own heart heavy with memories. The little girl turned to him again, her voice soft. "Thank you, mister." He managed a small smile. "You don't need to thank me, sweetheart. Just remember, good people wear all kinds of jackets." As the mother and daughter walked away, Jack's brothers started their engines, the deep thunder echoing across the hospital walls. But before they left, Jack pulled a small patch from his vest, one that said, "Ride free, live true," and handed it to the little girl. "Keep this," he said. "It's a reminder that even angels with scars can do something good." She held it tightly, her tiny fingers gripping it like treasure. The hospital staff stood silently, watching the unlikely group of bikers ride off into the sunset, their engines roaring not with anger, but pride. That night, social media lit up with photos and stories from witnesses who couldn't believe what they had seen, a gang of men the world judged too quickly, standing up for love, compassion, and humanity. And in a world so often divided by appearances, that simple act became a spark, a reminder that goodness isn't about looks, status, or rules. It's about heart. Weeks later, the hospital placed a small plaque by the entrance that read, "In honor of those who remind us, never judge kindness by its cover." If this story touched your heart, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Everyday Heroes, because the world needs more stories that prove compassion can come from the most unexpected souls. Comment below, do you believe people can truly change, no matter their past? As the engines faded into the distance, the little girl looked down at the patch still in her hand. The words shimmered in the sunset light, "Ride free, live true." And somewhere deep inside, she believed it too.